of the Arab-Nazi alliances opened my eyes to how Nazi and Islamist ideologies intertwined to fuel wars against the Jewish state with the goal to annihilate them. Fast forward to October 7th, seeing the world's reaction against the Jewish people helped me understand how the Holocaust happened. But looking deeper, I realized this was not just about racism. It is a collective spiritual disease.
This girl used to be an anti-Zionist. She used to be an anti-Semite, and she talks about how she has transformed. Ladies and gentlemen, people are beginning to open up. They are beginning to get exposed to the truth and wake up to reality. It is amazing to see. I'm the other Barak coming to you live and direct here from the Holy Land in Israel. Real quick, 80% of you are not subscribed to this channel. I put out 3 to 4 videos a day. You do not want to miss out on this action. Take a second right now. It's less than 5. Press that subscribe button. Press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of these videos. Let's stick around. Don't skip this one. And let's talk about it after.
I used to be an anti-Zionist, and by default, that made me an anti-Semite. I didn't grow up knowing any Jewish people. Instead, I just absorbed what peers around me repeated, that Jews ruled the world. In my state of victimhood, I wanted someone to blame, and the Jews became the perfect scapegoat, the boogeyman behind a curtain, pulling all the strings, responsible for why the world felt broken and why I felt powerless. But something happened 7 years ago that cracked that illusion. I was living in a hippie community when the conversation turned to who ruled the world. Without hesitation, someone brought up Zionism as the source of all evil. And in that circle was one Israeli man, and I'll never forget watching him break down in tears as he tried to explain to them that this wasn't what Zionism meant, trying to defend his people. Seeing him crumble shook me. I stood frozen because an accepted truth was being challenged in front of me for the first time. I realized I no longer knew what was true. From that moment, I knew something was very wrong, and I began questioning everything I thought I knew. I started researching the history of Zionism and the creation of Israel. I revisited the sources I once trusted and discovered they were actually white supremacist websites. Later, I learned about Amin al-Husseini and his collaboration with the Nazis.
Isn't it interesting how the propaganda that is spread against the state of Israel are by white supremacists, and we get labeled as white supremacists? Just think about that for a second.
The history of the Arab-Nazi alliances opened my eyes to how Nazi and Islamist ideologies intertwined to fuel wars against the Jewish state with the goal to annihilate them. Fast forward to October 7th, seeing the world's reaction against the Jewish people helped me understand how the Holocaust happened. But looking deeper, I realized this was not just about racism. It is a collective spiritual disease. I saw that the Jewish people seemed to trigger humanity's darkest shadows. Going to Israel a couple of times reinforced this. I saw with my own eyes the goodness Jewish people bring to the world. They were not the distorted images I had once believed. They were grounded, real, present, living in a way many of us have forgotten. What struck me the most was how every person looked me directly in the eyes, something I rarely experienced in the West and many years of traveling around the world. There is more to the story, but this is the heart of it. I have nothing but love for the Jewish people now, and I will stand up for them the way I wish I had for that Israeli man in the hippie community years ago. Best of all, I also came to realize that part of my soul's purpose is to help heal the Abrahamic lineage, and what you are witnessing through the content that I share is an accumulation of many awakenings, years of research, and putting the puzzle pieces together from years of exploring the subconscious realms through my healing work. And I know I'm not alone. There are others like me who can see through the repeated lies, the deceptions, and the truth inversion.
This is a reminder why when you talk about what Zionism is, what the state of Israel is, the truth about the Middle East, it can have an impact. There are trails to all of this. We have receipts, people. There are human beings that we're calling right now overly emotional and underly informed that don't have the ability to think critically. That's because right now is not the time for them to strike. She had her moment a while back when she was around an Israeli who was like, hold on a second. You don't have this thing right. Let me share with you at least my perspective. And he broke down and she was like, wait a minute, if somebody like really stood by truth, this seems like a very like normal thing to be able to do, a normal reaction for somebody if they actually are coming from a place of integrity. This is why it is so important for you to talk. There are people right now that once their emotions go down, their ability to think critically will go up. They have an inverse relationship I always say that right now is a time where if you're trying to reach like the loud minority of people, you're not going to get them. But there are people in the crowd, whether you believe it or not. I'm telling you, and I show you these people on the internet, they're beginning to wake up. They're beginning to understand that the world has always tried to scapegoat against Israel and Jewish people for all of their problems. Whether it's fucking raining, whether it's the high fructose corn syrup, whether it's the media, whether it's Hollywood, whether it's jobs, whether it's money, the banking system, you name it. You can go top down and just say it is all the Jews' fault. And it's so easy to do that when you can't even look in the mirror and point maybe a finger at yourself. That's why we have people who don't think critically. But as a result of her doing her due diligence, she was motivated by someone. It could be you, it could be me, it could be Tal, it could be anybody. This is why it's important, man. These videos fire me up. Somebody get me in touch with this person. Thank you so much for all your support. Here's a note from me. Here are 4 ways you can help us grow if you believe in our mission. On Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal, you can directly contribute to helping this message grow and reach more people across the world. If you want to join the inner circle, join our Patreon with different tiers, and of course, our Discord community, which is free with people from all across the world. The links to every single one are in the description. And last but not least, to the other Brock community, I love you. Ani ohev otchem. I'll see you guys next time.